Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel. I am backlogged on videos, and so you're going to see a bunch of progress on the house, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. I'm going to break it up into multiple videos. So today we're going to talk about electrical high boxing, and this is basically the process of mounting the boxes that you basically need a ladder for. So ceiling boxes for lighting. Really all you do, you locate the light on the ceiling and you nail a box up. It's really that simple. When you're building your house, like we've talked about, you'll have a set of electrical plans that kind of detail where everything goes. So you just kind of measuring tape and mount. There are various types of ceiling boxes that we can kind of talk about. Right there is just a nail-on, what's called new work electrical box. It nails to the side of a joist and you mount a light there. You can see we've already got wires coming in. And depending upon your circumstances and where your lights need to be placed, in this case, if it falls right next to a joist, awesome, you can use that. We're in the garage, by the way. In other cases like this, the light fell in the middle and I had to get the spacing right. So I chose to use this metal octagon box, which I put some 2x4 bracing in and then just screwed that box to there to get the positioning right. Further still, not a good example in the garage. Let's go. Other lighting. Oh, here's a good example of another lighting box. I'm actually not using this. Well, yeah, here we go. Example for a lighting box. These brace boxes. So these is a brace that you fit between two joists, and then the box can slide back and forth, so you can position it exactly how you want it. In this case, I actually had to chop these down to fit this narrow space. The other type of box that I am using in this build are these can light rough-in plates. So that's just a piece of sheet metal basically for a 6-inch can light. And I'm using the term can in quotes, can. It's not a can light. It is a wafer thin LED like disc that looks like a flush mount can. So, I mean, it is the thickness of the drywall. So what's nice about these things is that I think they're about $3 a piece. So they can add up on a project, but this makes the drywallers cut your holes for you instead of you doing it if you're wiring it yourself. So you can position all of this stuff before the drywall goes up. So as an example, here's the kitchen. We got like a pack of kind of 5 lights there. And because we've actually moved these a couple times, because like, oh, we like it here versus there. And this is what we settled on. And so you can visualize the cans ahead of time and then have the drywallers cut your holes so you don't have to do it later and just mess up your pretty drywall. I looked around for the best kind of bracket. These are Halo. I got these at Home Depot. You can buy them in boxes of 6 and they come out to like $3 a piece. So highly recommend. They just nail on the side of the joist with captive nails, and they also have screw holes. So if you want to screw it, or if you booger up the nail like I did on a few of them, you can just screw the thing in and call it good. Other things to talk about. We'll go to the porch. So you can kind of see for the porch, same kind of deal, except what I had to do, since this material is this thin OSB board and batt kind of siding material, I put all of my rough-in brackets in ahead of time, and then with the goal of having, well, the framers can zip those out when they put the boards up. Well, the framers apparently don't do that. And I ended up actually getting lucky because I had forgotten that this patio ceiling was gonna have this board and batt layout. So you see all those little 1x2s. I got lucky that none of those 1x2s hit my lights. So I was able to use my rough-in brackets. So what I did was I told the framers, go ahead and just cover up my brackets with the material. And then I came back through, I drilled a pilot hole and made sure that everything lined up. And then I took a router with a, I believe it was a plunge cut bit where you could, where it kind of had it was a cutting bit, but it had just a bare spot on the top of the bit where there wasn't any cutting material, where I could have it kind of ride the edge of the metal housing and zip those things out. I assume kind of like the drywallers do with a roto zip, but this is heavier material, so it required a little more power. And it came out good. The last two came out real good because I got the hang of it. The first one not so much, but the trim plate should cover it up. So it's kind of what the back porch is going to look like. And then we've got some outdoor fans, and so we got fan boxes here. And what I did here outdoors, I actually pulled those fan boxes and remounted them after the fact. So I relocated my fans. I drilled my pilot hole, make sure it was good. Then I cut it with a 4 1/8 hole saw. And then I crawled up on top of the ceiling and dropped the fan brace back on the joist and mounted it from above. And dropping it down the hole like that, it came out about perfect. Let me go inside and I'll show you what those fan braces look like. It's a good segue into fans. You cannot mount a ceiling fan on one of those blue plastic boxes. It will fall down on you. Bad juju. You need a fan brace or a fan rated box. So in this case, this is a fan box. Big beefy screws going into the joist, big beefy, slidey arm, big beefy metal box. This will handle, I think, 80, 90 pounds is where it's rated at. And it's similar to those blue slidey boxes. So that thing can slide back and forth to position a fan box wherever you need. So the other type of box that we can talk about is, let's say you need to put a box where there's a joist, like a normal 2x joist, and it's right in your way. Well, what you can do is get one of these joist boxes. It's hard to see up there, but if you see the little rectangle going, if you can see my finger going this way, right? That's the way the joist runs. And you can see those 2 silver screws going into the joist. So that thing just hooks around and wraps itself around the joist. And then fastens off really securely. And then you can have a fan there. So in this case, it's our front porch fan. And it worked out quite well just to go right there. Last box that you'll use is called a pop-in box or an old work box. And this is the kind where you cut a hole, you put it in the hole, and then you tighten these little ears that squish the box on the back side of your sheeting material, drywall or whatever. In this case, I'm using it up here in the porch since I had to cut this hole after the fact. And you typically use this with the vanity lights. So I will show you some of the wiring. And we'll talk about wiring in more detail, but in the case of a vanity, like here I'm in a master bath, and a vanity light's gonna go like right up in there. So what you typically do is you just leave a long pigtail wire that's kind of up in the wall. I know, hard to zoom in, all right? And then the wall goes in and you find your wire and then you attach it to your box and you cut it in after the fact where, when cabinets are in and you can have an idea of mirrors and just all that kind of stuff, right? So that's about it. In my case, my ceiling boxes are almost done, except for the stupid high ones that will kill me if I fall. So here's a master bedroom. I've got a wire for the fan, but that's really high. And we're actually going to do a ridge faux beam after drywall, and the box will get mounted to that. So for now, that wire, I need to move it a little more in the center, and then just have the sheetrockers kind of poke it through the sheetrock and let it hang. The other high stuff that will be kind of precarious that I'm going to have to do is the stairwell light way up there. There'll be one box that'll go kind of center up there, and then we'll have can lights in the living room pretty much right above where those return vents are. We'll talk about HVAC in another video. And then, or not return vents, those supply vents, and then mirrored on the other side. So that's about it as far as kind of ceiling boxes, kind of what you expect, what kinds there are, what you'll use. yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.